أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي أشد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضه وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين آمين وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين الحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome everyone. Inshallah, we will continue slightly a new section on the seventh word, second station, where we were discussing about what the human being is given free will for a purpose, and that free will cannot create, it can only choose with whatever is created for them. And whatever the choices, whatever we are doing, is all created by the one who owns us, who creates the universe. And that was, yes, the faculty of will, which we discussed quite on it. And it was an interesting thing about the sacrifice. What are we sacrificing? So thinking that my free will is the one, as if I'm doing it. That's the misconception that sometimes using the free will gives to the human being, whereas it's just a choice. And I have to leave it to align my free will with the will of the one whose order is in this universe, to have it go alongside with his creative order. So that was part of how we ended with the surrendering our free will to the will of the owner of this world. And of course, our feelings, our senses have to be returned to the true owner, because nothing really belongs to us. It's just like the example of the car. Somebody gave me the car. My body, my feelings, my senses are given to me, and I have to use them accordingly for their purpose. So that's how the owner of the universe buys that property back from me, my whole body, my feelings, the way I used it. So I have to be really careful in how I use myself. What am I doing? Be conscious, use all the qualities, tools that have been given to me for that purpose, to live a meaningful, purposeful life in this world. So with that, we will start a little new topic with the new verse. I'll start with it. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. But when it set, he said, I love not those that set. Quran chapter 6, or section 6, verse 76. But when it set, looking at the sun, he said, I love not those that set. 1 second, please. All right, a little quieter. Yeah, so, but when it set, he said, I love not those that set. This verse made me weep. At least the meaning that is coming out of this verse, that seeing the transience and the feeling of the human being has the feeling of something that he likes permanence and is not set with something that is transient. So it made me weep. The verse, I love not those that said, which was uttered by Abraham, peace be upon him, and announces the universe's passing and death. Announces the universe's passing and death. The eyes of my heart wept at it, pouring out bitter teardrops. Each teardrop was sorely sad as the eyes of my heart wept. As the eyes of my heart wept. The verse causes others to weep, and as though weeps itself. Oh. What does that mean? So the verse causes others to weep, and as though weeps itself. So the verse is weeping itself. The following lines, yeah, anybody would like to say anything on that?
That is a very interesting understanding. The verse mentioned at the beginning, when it said, he said, I love not those that said. This expression also sounds or demonstrates that this reality hurts when you say it even. Because we human beings don't like when you say, you have to say with the consciousness that it transfers your feeling into the words. That's what this verse is doing. It is content is really transferred as it is uttered. It is very interesting because the term used here, my eyes of my heart wept. But what does it mean? Really all my feelings, not only one feeling that mentioned here, loving. No, anything that human beings can share, anything, all the feelings, whatever it is, all these feelings do not want transience. We comfortably understand, for example, when I love something, I want to have it, but I don't want to lose its beauty, the satisfaction I gain from it. That is generally discussed and presented to the minds of the people, attentions of the people. But for example, how about the disliked things? Yes, if I don't like this, something I don't like happening to me, and if it is removed from me temporarily, not permanently, I don't feel satisfied, and my feelings feel desperate and complain. They don't get satisfaction. If, for example, if I am ill and if I'm given the healing, if someone says, yes, you are healed, but a year later you will have it again, I never feel satisfied with my healing. I will get rid of this illness, and I will need to heal the guarantee that this disliked situation will never visit me again. All senses altogether cry out or weep. That is what the term my heart wept. The way it is expressed also, as soon as you hear somebody, for example, let's say somebody lost, well, not lost, really died, passed away, passed to God, return to the Creator, the way it expresses it is not like this. Hi, my friend. My mother died. No, 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 no. He says, hi, how are you? No, no, my mother died. My mother died. You see, the way it is said also cries. Thank you.
Jazakallah. Yes, you're. So the following lines in Persian are my teardrops. They are a sort of commentary of some words present within the divine word of God's wise one, the Prophet Muhammad. The following lines in Persian are my teardrops. They are a sort of commentary of some words present within the divine words of God's wise one, the Prophet Muhammad.
Now, of course, we hear it from the message that the Prophet Muhammad received, but the message itself attributes it to Prophet Abraham. But doesn't matter from a prophet. Again, this beginning of the sentence you read now, the following lines in Persian are my teardrops. Again, we have to understand that it is not a straightaway language. It is a kind of feelings transferred into the meaning of these words. So we have to really resonate. We have to let these sayings resonate to us. For example, if someone says, again, I will go back to my previous example, my mother died. It is a kind of normalization. But if someone puts it in a way that, in a crying and full of sorrow language or voice, we are more affected. And we don't say, okay, that's it. Since he died, you have to carry on your life. We don't use, oh yeah, I am very sorry. I'm very sorry. No, please, if he's a believer, he said, inshallah, I'll pray to God to treat him with his absolute mercy, etc., etc. Not a straightaway language. Of course, a believer cannot say, yeah, died away. That is life, man. What shall we do? The life goes on. Life doesn't go on, because your mother used to say as well, when she was living in this world, life goes on, but your mother demonstrates now that life doesn't go on. So a believer must be very conscious of how he really communicates with the events created for him. It is no, you see, life doesn't go on. Okay, but we want to go on. How are we going to solve this problem? Is there any way? Or that is just how it is. Meaningless existence, meaningless me falling into non-existence. Can your feelings, any of your feelings, can accept it? Or they don't. So what is the solution then? Yes.
So the feelings, so everyone's feelings has the same kind of sense that is coming with the same message, goes to everyone. So what is the solution? That's what your question is? Or you're continuing on? So yeah, so let's see how the author presents it, as because the author is sharing that, and of course each and every individual conscious being would also be going through the same sense or feeling that is being shared. So I will continue with a beloved who is hidden through setting is not beautiful. A beloved who is hidden through setting is not beautiful.
I think the meaning must be a beloved. What is hidden through setting? Not disappeared, but hidden. What is, not only human beings, anything. I mean, if someone has something and if it is destroyed, don't you think that is not beautiful to have this one? It is destroyed, you feel sorrow for it. So not only human beings, everything we love to have it, we love to be away from it. All our love, our hatred, etc., means loving not to have it.
No, I didn't get it. What do you mean, loving not to have it?
Hatred is not the contrary to love. We love whatever we like, we love to have it permanently in a perfect way. Now, whatever our feelings don't like, we are encoded with this, hardwired with these feelings. We cannot really change them. We can ignore them, but we cannot change them. They are always there, reminding us. So some feelings don't like something, but as far as the love is concerned, I love not to have them. So permanently not to have them. I mean, you can say it, I dislike this one, and not to happen to me permanently. But I am trying to combine everything within the language of the Quran. I love not those that said. Temporary solutions are not the solutions, because the most important problem of mankind, it means our problem, is we love life, we enjoy, we struggle to preserve it, we die for it. I mean, we give everything for the protection of our life, our existence, our health, healthy life. We love it, but we love it permanently, not temporarily. That is why we don't hate death. We love a permanent life, permanent existence. That is why I say life is beautiful, but death is really ugly. No. Don't judge. Just concentrate on what you love. You love the permanence of your life. You love that it is going to get to an end. That is why permanent life is the essential. If we don't concentrate on the permanent love of permanent life, then we may miss the point. Why do we hate the head? Why do we hate death? It is a minute thing. You may ignore it. But I say, we love not those that said encompasses everything. Not only that the things we like. it includes as well the things we don't like in our nature, in our creation. That is what I wanted to make the word love for everything, positive or negative for us. Positive, to keep it with us. Negative, to keep its being away from us. Again, to keep. So if I concentrate on loving the permanence of my existence, permanence of my life, then when I see death, I say, no, no, it shouldn't be there. That is how I am. It shouldn't be there. So looking for the solution, not to interpret death as something to be hated, not liked, disliked. So just the way we interpret death, if this way, anyway, which contradicts what I love, then it is not really the solution for me. So that I have to look for a solution.
So in the example of death, death is also temporary in a sense, right?
Yeah, because it contradicts my love of life. Either I shouldn't love my life, my existence, so that I will justify death as the atheist people interpret it. They say, death is the reality we have to face, we have to go through. That's what they nowadays, the expression they use. Oh, these are the problems of life, but we have to learn how to go through, rather than look for a solution. Because according to the secular minded people, there is no solution. So what they do, that is the reality of life, we have to accept. No, I love permanent satisfaction. This is not my reality of life. This is how I am. That is why we have to concentrate on love of eternity, love of being belong to an absolute being. So that anything contradicts, anything seemingly contradicts, I will say, no, 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 it shouldn't be there. So it will be easier to handle with. No, no, it shouldn't be there. Yeah. For example, let's a child example, his parent prohibits him to do something. If he understands that I love my parents and my parents love me, okay, if they said, don't have it, this I like, I said, no, 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 it shouldn't be something bad for me. Because if it was bad for me, then my parents, if it wasn't bad for me, my parents will allow me. So my interpretation of, oh, I love this, but my parents don't allow me to have it, turns into what? It shouldn't be bad for me if I don't have it. It should be good for me. That's why they are prohibiting me from having it. I may not know, but my parents know it.
Yep, good example. Thank you for clarifying all that. Alhamdulillah. So all the things, positive and negative, as long as because they're temporary, so we don't want that. Look for the permanence, eternity. That's how our feelings are hardwired to be looking for. And that's in collaboration with how this message is being presented of not loving the transience. Um, do you have any questions? So, So your question is on the example of death and not liking death. So in that sense, yes. So although death is not a bad thing, it's a good thing, part of our reality. But yes, but it's also a transient thing, or to seek permanence.
Now, excuse me, the language we are using, we have to be careful. Death is not bad for us. No, I love life, permanent life. Death seems to be contradicting my love. It shouldn't be there. So there must be a way of interpreting it, understanding it. So opens the way. What's wrong in seeing the death and preventing my sense of love for eternal perfection or happiness? So that it will be easier to deal with death. But if you say, look, I am created with this sense of loving life, but also I see there death, which is very hateful to me. Why? It just prevents me experiencing the eternal happiness. So what is this? There. And then nowadays, all the people who are mindless people to me, not thinking seriously, they criticize the creator because he created something horrible things. Horrible things. Not only through human interference, but for example, catastrophes or those people, children born with permanent heart disease or permanent brain disease, etc. Which kind of cut is? Not because they did not, it is because they are not concentrating on love of perfection within ourselves. This is how we are created. So there must be an explanation for it. There must be a reason for it. And this reason is good for me. That's what we learn from the teachings of the Quran in the story of the Prophet Moses and which is famous as Khizr, I don't know, but as the person who has given knowledge directly from divine source. Yeah, min ladunhu. Yeah, from God directly. It means representative of God's. Not Khidr is not the Quranic language. That's why I am avoiding it. Thank you, Suhail, by the way, but I don't know. It just some narrations, I don't know, historically related to Israeliyat, so I don't use it. Anyways, this representative of God's knowledge confronting the prophets, a prophet who has received message from God. Can you imagine? So, but as a human being, So this, the prophet Musa was also a human being who received the message from God in order to be an example how to use according to our primordial nature, how we are created, perfect human being, example. So what God's plan is not known even to the prophet, and he cannot bear it because he is living in this world, troublesome, or cause and effect, the causal chain of this world, the word of causal chain. So when this abd, as Suhail, Quranic word is abd, it means really representing God's qadr, in fact, that is qadr, taqdir ilahi, God's decision about us, for us. Or he sang the thing. Apparently it seems to be very bad, but what is behind it? Mercy of God, justice of God. This abd, this representative of God's taqdir, qadar, qadrullah, I think it is called in subcontinent language. Qadrullah is reflecting God's mercy there, but we don't see it. Even the prophet didn't see it. Do you see what I mean? Not because prophet is not a wise man, no. The message received by the prophet doesn't always demonstrate the God's point of view, God's mercy, God's providence, God's merciful determinations. Doesn't always reflect it. So we have to find out through this kind of seemingly irrelevant narration. A wise man couldn't really bear with the prophet, and he did something strange. What does it mean? Of course, if you read this Quran like this, you get nothing. So, I mean, a very special example, story. So, when he killed the boy, it is horrible to me, it seems to me, but this story is an excellent story to tell us, reveal us how we should see it, Qadr operating, God's determining operating, merciful, justice, now treating everyone with his merciful wisdom, and correcting the world, the same example. Each of them looks from different aspect of, explains the different aspects of God's hidden. At first, we may not see the wisdom in the creation of something that we don't like. But in fact, if we knew the Creator who is doing it, who is creating everything in an appropriate way to our sense of love, what we want, really. That is how we are created. Everything fitting, in fact, whether apparently it seems to be disliked, bad, but in fact, in the creation of that event, ultimately, we should understand by attributing the creation of this event to an absolute being who is doing it, who created me, and with the sense of love that I don't want it. So it must be good for me. As the example of this Abd and Musa relationship, or this story is really worth your life. If we understand it, all the fish running away back to their, etc., passing the point of meeting and coming back again, or this repentance, the returning to the original primordial origin of human beings, etc., etc. It is full of wisdom. All the stories of the Quran is amazing, but we take it as a simple matter. I don't know. It's storytellers. We have been for more than 1,000 years storytellers. Thank you. With the exception, there are exceptions. I know, but very rare, very rare. Thank you.
Wow, a lot has been said. Jazakallah. So Any comments by anyone?
Yes, I'm trying to understand a little bit about this verse. So I love not those that said. Definitely, I find myself placed in a transient experience. Everything is passing, and I don't like that. Definitely, I don't like death either. The death of anything, death of day, epoch, seasons, whatever. So what this verse is telling me, yeah, this is how your state of being is. That's correct. So I didn't really catch what Brother Lee was alluding to, where he sort of mentioned two different attitudes or perspective on how to look at the universe. So for example, if I may just look at the universe just like this, at face value, definitely I won't like anything. I'm miserable here. Death will be the end to my existence. Done, done, done. But then within me, there's this desire of eternal satisfaction, happiness. And so when I reflect on this, then that should then become likable. I didn't catch that. Did you catch it? Like the whole transience and permanence. I don't know if I've told you this.
The question is what the death, it has to be interpreted, what the death is. That's what I understood.
So death has to be interpreted.
Yeah.
How I'm viewing death here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All these atheist people.
You muted yourself.
So all the atheist people nowadays is prevalent and speaking in the name of science. Now this new religion of this 21st century is psychology, psychotherapy, and also how do you say eating healthy, because people all complain about overweight. It is the before malnourishment or undernourishment was the problem of mankind. Now overnourishment is the problem of mankind. So what they do, what they always offer to us, how to have a healthy life, because we love healthy life. Okay, if I see that, for example, I love healthy life, but I see illness there. What I have to do, go back to the source of existence of myself and the source of existence of my feelings. Where did I get them? How did I have them that I love healthy life? So the one who created me and the universe with the love of healthy life, then he is creating something, illness, which really prevents and destroys my sense of love for healthy life. I have to say, look, if he is going to create this one, why did he give me the sense of loving the healthy life? I have to go back to the origin of the existence of the things that I love, especially the existence of the sense of love within me, and then refer that, oh, are you happy that you love something? Yes, I am. I enjoy my life when I have, when I reach the satisfaction of my sense of love. So the same one is creating with this. What do you think? You know, one of the famous atheists wrote a book saying that God is, what did he say? The title of the book, God is crazy or idiot or something like that. Why? If God exists out there So, as the creator, he gave you the sense that you don't like catastrophes or disasters. He gave you. So you have to love perfection. That is how he encoded you with. Now, the same one is creating, because even they don't believe in God. If you don't believe in God, why bother to talk about it then? They say, this is something trash, forget about it. No, they want to struggle with this idea. Why? Because they know something is going on in this world, so they cannot really submit themselves to their existence to him and interpret everything in terms of the creation of it, attributing by its creator rather than reducing it to its existence to itself or accident. So when you understand the source of existence of your sense of love, then you understand that there must be something there. In this, how do you say, in this context, the story of Abd and Musa and the wise man, or not the wise man really, the man who has received ilm from God directly, it means representing God's, to us, representing, as an example, representing God's absolute knowledge, absolute wisdom, absolute mercy, and encountering what we are practically experiencing, and some bad things are going. No. There must be something better. Investigate it. To put your trust in the creator of the sense of love for eternal happiness. Because he is the one who created this. So it cannot be really contradicting. There must be something. So we have to understand that, for example, there must be a wisdom of some things that seem to be bad to us. So we have to investigate, have a positive attitude. No. It seems to be bad or preventing to enjoy my sense of love for eternal happiness. There must be something there. Let me investigate, have a positive attitude. But if you decide that this thing is definitely bad, and then you start criticizing it rather than looking for the wisdom in it. So, it needs a serious study of the Quran to understand that this kind of attitudes are analyzed in the Quran. Nowadays, I noticed, by the way, it is not related to our subject. I noticed that nowadays, the shift from materialist interpretations, because they are lost now. They don't know how to explain the existence really. They are just making irrational speculations. They themselves also don't get satisfaction from it. So they left this area now, the people of the world, or enemy of religion or prophetic traditions. They shifted into psychology. So psychotherapy. So they say, how they are presenting us, how we are supposed to have a happy life. You know, if you want to be rich, there is only very easy way. If you want to be rich, material, money making, write a book. In a reasonable capacity, it means something like 200 pages, not more than that. The people, I can read it. Write a book, put on the sale, whatever, and the title is how to have a peaceful mind, how to have a happy life, how to have a happy life, or the path to happiness, All of them are in this world, in this world. Read all these books. But we have to write, we have to present to the people how to be happy in relation to the source of our existence. So establish there practical examples we must present. Practical examples. How can you be happy without cheating yourself, without falling into wishful thinking, without falling into biased acceptance? No, making it in a reasonable way. But even if you present people trash, because of the title of the book, you will get a lot of money. That is the word now, is losing themselves in it. It means psychological discrepancy within our life now. Inconsistency, contradictions, puts us in trouble. I want this, but I cannot achieve it. I cannot do it. I cannot obtain it. What shall I do? And everybody knows that, of course, you have to go through it is not the solution. That is what this 21st secularist psychology offers to people. You have to accept it. That's the reality of our life. That's how we developed. But cover it over what our real primordial creation, nature, it is in Arabic futrat. What our futra contradicts this. There is a contradiction. Why? How can I solve this contradiction? By going through it, there is a contradiction, but I have to accept it. No, there must be a solution. But I have to think about it. So we have to have a positive attitude, and we have to present the people a positive solution for it. Rather than say, make tawakkul on Allah, God. Why should I? It is, if there was such a being, God shouldn't put me in a contradictory position. That is what the claim of the people is nowadays. So we have to really go back to the beginning, or the original form of human nature, futra, and then explain everything according to the source of existence of human futra. Because I am the subject of this matter, so I have to find the solution within my own existence. My own existence openly not only declares, cries out, you are created in this way, given existence by a conscious, wise being. So concentrate on the creation side of everything, not apparent, how do you say, appearance of them. To me, creation side of it, source of the existence of that thing.
Alhamdulillah. Any other comment or, all right, questions? So a beloved that is hidden through setting is not beautiful. For those doomed to decline cannot be truly beautiful. Yep, those doomed to decline cannot be truly beautiful. They may not be loved with the heart. They may not be loved with the heart, which is created for eternal love, and is the mirror of the eternally besought one. It's the mirror of the eternally besought one, and should not be loved with it. So anything in this world which is setting is not beautiful to the human feelings, human senses. For those doomed to decline cannot be truly beautiful because the feeling senses are set to like permanence, eternity. So they may not be loved with the heart. So don't get attached to such things which are will basically fail you. They will go to decline. They will be doomed. So the heart is created for eternal love. But that's what our fitra, our primordial nature of who we are is. We are meant to be attached to eternity. And the heart is the mirror for that. Heart, basically, our spirit, our soul, is meant to attach itself to eternity, eternal love, and is the mirror of the eternally besought one and should not be loved with it. So the things that are setting should not be loved with the heart, which is meant to be attached to the eternal love. A desired one who is doomed to be lost on setting. A desired one who is doomed, or that is doomed to be lost on setting. Such a one is not worthy of the heart's attachment, the mind's preoccupation. The mind's preoccupation. It's interesting, he says, the mind's preoccupation, because we are using what are we preoccupied these days with a lot of different things, keeping ourselves busy. He may not be the object of desires. That thing may not be the object of desires.
No, not he, but it should be it.
It, yeah. So whatever we are seeing as that is setting, right? Anything that is doomed to be setting or transient thing, which is not worthy of the heart's attachment, it should not be the object of desires. It is not worthy of being regretted with the sorrow and grief that follows. It is not worthy of being regretted over with the sorrow and grief that follows. So something that passes away, dies, is not worthy of being regretted with the sorrow and grief that follows. So why should the heart worship such a one and be bound to? Why should the heart worship such a thing and be bound to it? Brother Ali, go ahead.
Yeah, to make it into a more practical terms, rather than, okay, I shouldn't, for example, it may not be the object of desires. Yes, I don't want death. I don't want illness. I don't want a reasonable life. Yeah? How can I detach myself from this it might not be loud with the heart. Yeah, how can I detach myself from my heart from it? It means the heart which really, which is created for eternal life. So yes, I shouldn't love the things which are transient, but at the same time, there are things, they are all transient. Show me something which is not transient. So what does it mean? We should understand it in practical terms. We have to go back to the origin of their existence, question the origin of their existence. For example, sun rises, who arranged it? Sunsets that I don't like, who arranges it? What arranges it? Investigate that. That is why everything needs to be explained in terms of, on the base of existential level. What is the source of existence of the thing? What is this? For example, the best example in the Quran is the creation of Iblis. It's now Satan in the world. So, and angels or Adam. All of them are them human beings and angels and also Iblis, created by the same source. Are you happy with your existence? Are you happy that you have been given the love of eternal happiness? Yeah, I want to be successful in this way. The same one is creating the Iblis. It must be good for you. Its creation is good for you, not to follow. Its creation is for you. The option which is given to me to choose the wrong option, or that's I'm a free will, is free to choose the wrong option. It is good. Good for what? In order to appreciate and keep away from it, use it, utilize it in order to understand the truthfulness of the right option. It's a criterion. Like, in order to understand the reality of illallah, I have to appreciate the value of La ilaha. That's a beautiful formula. It explains everything. If the Quran didn't say anything but La ilaha illallah, that would suffice for me, really. I'm so much satisfied with it. So we shouldn't hate La ilaha. It is an option to say La ilaha. You cannot be the creator of anything. You cannot be the source of anything. So establish everything on the base of existence and then develop from it. Don't stay there. Develop from it and really explain the every seemingly problem matters that seems to be human beings are facing nowadays, and really without noticing the source of existence of anything, they just say everything happened by chance. So these disasters also happened by chance, nothing to do with God. Because look, it is horrible. Don't you see? But the sense of horrible, that you don't like horrible things, where did you get it? Existence. Existence of the sense of disliking horrible. Existence, existence. Always start from the source of existence. If I don't really establish my presentation, my understanding, if I'm speaking, I have to fall into blind following of culture. That's what we have to be very careful. Question. You can solve all the problems if you could start questioning and establishing how you are convinced about the source of existence of anything that you love, anything that you dislike. Also, love being away from disliked options. It means we love to accept, for example, we love to accept La ilaha is correct. Yes, these things cannot be the creator of anything, cannot have a divine power. It means really the power to be source of existence of anything. I love this. So I love the existence of Satan in order to reject it and understand that I'm going to utilize it to confirm illallah, come to a right conclusion. That occupies my mind nowadays a lot. You know, how to understand Iblis, because I have been studying the story of Adam and Iblis. Iblis says, God is creating the Iblis. God has created Iblis. It's a negative side of everything, that we fall into the trap of Iblis, etc. What does it mean? Why God is really putting me and giving me a trap, something that I may fall? No. The creation of Iblis, you have to question it, who is creating it, and your creator is the same. So what does it mean? Have a positive attitude and say that, this guy is created, or this thing is created for me in order to benefit from it. So utilize it. How? Use your sense of disliking the things and to convert it into satisfaction of your sense of love. I know it is a deep subject, and then I'm really not putting it clearly, but I'm inviting you to think about it seriously. How can we really change the language, the way we present our belief to ourselves, to others? So it needs some serious considerations about this subject. That's why I'm very excited about it and sharing with you. Thank you.
Jazakallah, inshallah, yeah, we have to really reflect on a lot of things here. How to look at the world, all the feelings we have, realize we'll go back to the origin, seeing what those feelings are telling me, connecting me to the origin, and looking at the existential part of it, going back to the source, as you've been highlighting many times. Go back to the source. Yep, inshallah. So we have to train ourselves in seeing the world in this way. So I will stop here for the moment. I think if anybody has any final comments, please go ahead.
So the last sentence, why? So why should the heart worship such a one and be bound to him? It must be why. So why should the heart worship such a thing and be bound to it? So it becomes, the message becomes general. That's what the original form, I think I haven't checked, but I can check. It is the closing time, I know, but at the same time, it is important for us now. Where is it? Where was it? In original language. Okay, okay. No, where are we? Oh man, I haven't marked it, so. No, I couldn't find it, sorry.
No, but it makes sense, as you said. Why should the heart worship it and be bound to it? Yeah, as a more general to everything. Yeah, this is the 17th word, second station. If you're looking in the original.
I see.
So why should?
If I'm not mistaken, the original, the language doesn't say him, but uses a general statement, I think. Yeah.
So all the he and the him can be.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the original text doesn't say he or him. Yeah. But it uses a general language, including human beings as well. But generally, the things that we are interacting in the universe. Yep.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Thanks for clarifying that. Inshallah. We'll make a note in our books. Whatever. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka anta al-alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.